impact is central to social profit-oriented organization and must be valued over bottom-line business objectives. It is important to note that social profit doesn't necessarily need to be directly derived from the product or service being offered, and can instead be approached as an indirect solution to a greater issue at hand. The Giving Keys, a cause-based company that makes inspirational jewelry, takes its idea to a new level, using its own unique approach to the concept of social business. Caitlin Crosby, Hollywood actress and singer, used to wear a New York hotel room key around her neck with the engraved words, "Love your flaws." She started getting feedback from her fans that this was a message that they felt too, and also understood. At her concerts, she sold these keys with inspirational inscriptions as a way to encourage her fans. They may be flawed, damaged, or forgotten, just like the keys, but will be renewed by finding their purpose. As a young girl growing up in Hollywood, Caitlin, like most teenagers, grew up wanting to rebel against the system. In her case, this was not your typical teenage rebellion, because instead of lying about going to parties, she lied about going to youth group. Seeing the vanity surrounding her, Caitlin wanted a change. Like Fred in Our Iceberg is Melting, Caitlin used her curiosity in order to see things from a different perspective. She decided that with reach came responsibility. So with that, she decided that she would use her influence in the Hollywood community to inspire people to embrace their flaws, rather than attempt to hide them. Thus, the Giving Keys was born. Sales took off at the merch shops at her concert venues, but there was still something missing for her. She wanted to align her business with some sort of philanthropic cause that would support her message. In her original business model, Caitlin rapidly moved through the first 6 steps for change, somewhat unconsciously, but really ended up hitting hard on steps 7 and 8. The inciting incident to one of the main components of the Giving Keys started when Caitlin met Rob and Sarah, who were living on the streets of LA. This spontaneous encounter eventually led to a partnership between the preliminary phase of the Giving Keys and the young couple. Rob and Sarah worked to create the jewelry, and the proceeds from those sales went towards moving them into an apartment and reestablishing themselves after years of homelessness. Caitlin didn't let up with these two, and that small-scale partnership ultimately led to a drastic shift in the culture at the Giving Keys. The Giving Keys is a classic example of Eunice's first step to creating a social business. Start small, start early. The whole concept started out small, with a single New York hotel key, and the business itself started out as small reaching. Seeing the success of just one couple, Caitlin's vision expanded to partnering with this underserved community and integrating them into her existing business. But she couldn't do this alone.
And I could have just left it at that. I could have been like, oh, this is a great business model. I can just settle here and make a website. This would be great. Very positive and cute jewelry. But I knew there was a missing link. But then I found out about the United Way, and we partnered up with them and the Transitional Home Path. And we started hiring people from there.
This initial partnership led to even more, and now the Giving Keys also works with Lift Los Angeles and the Downtown Women's Center to provide their employees with resources to aid their transition. Having community partners is a part of their culture, and for that reason, their financial model allows them to pay for the case management services for their staff. The team at the Giving Keys is not your traditional retail force, whose central focus is to solely maximize profit. Instead, the Giving Keys is made up of employees who are recently taken out of homelessness and given the opportunity to be a part of running a business. The Giving Keys is increasing employment and therefore increasing the standard of living for the community in which they function. The company isn't necessarily creating a product that is solving a societal issue, but instead provides the necessary measures to spark the transition out of homelessness. All of this filters into something that is largely comparable to Eunice's criteria for a Type 2 social business, a for-profit business owned by the poor. The most unique thing about the Giving Keys is that it demonstrates the idea of reciprocity in 2 very powerful ways, through its community partners and through its customers. By taking in these homeless people and giving them a place to rediscover their purpose, they developed a unique, mutually beneficial situation. The Giving Keys provided a living wage to lift these people out of poverty, and the labor put in by these dedicated employees generated more sales for the company. And it really does make a difference. Here are the stories of some of the Giving Keys community partners.
I've been incarcerated for 29 years.
I went without work for like 4 years, and that wasn't for the lack of trying. So that was like the motivating factor, just being able to eat.
When I was in prison, I had this stigma in my mind that once you're a criminal, you're always a criminal. Somebody gave me a second chance. It showed me that I'm still loved, I'm still important to people. It made me feel that way, you know, and I love that.
So it took other people to come in to give me positive words to help polish me up. That would really help me change my behavior, my conduct, my feeling towards life, period. I was telling myself, you're worthy, you are appreciated.
Incredibly enough, the Giving Keys doesn't just confine this idea of reciprocity within its company culture. It emanates a very similar vision in the jewelry itself that makes its way into the hands of the customer. The mission of the company in and of itself is reciprocity by definition. Pay it forward.
You know, you might feel old, used, discarded, flawed, just like these keys. So get one, and then I want you to wear it and embrace that word on there until you meet somebody that you feel needs the message on there more than you, and I want you to pay it forward to them.
Not only does this method spread a positive message rapidly, but in truth, it is a genius business strategy. A grassroots approach, while slow at first, is what gives brands the customer-backed trust that is needed to generate brand loyalty now and in the future. Throughout their time as a company, the Giving Keys' main market comes through people's curiosity when they see someone wearing a key. This impression leads them to ask about what the key actually means, and with that, an individual story unfolds. It is in these deeply personal connections that the Giving Keys makes its greatest impact. When customers see that a brand is value-oriented, they will rally around your cause. Vision strategy number 1 in Value Sell is as follows. Think about how your vision and product combined can improve your customers' business or personal lives. The Giving Keys does an excellent job in its execution of this by flawlessly carrying out the most important aspect of successful branding, storytelling. On their website, they have a specific tab where people can share their own pay it forward stories, ranging anywhere from their battles with cancer to issues with self-image. It is a platform for sharing initial struggles and the eventual triumph over these circumstances. The most incredible thing about the structure of the Giving Keys is that it doesn't necessarily have an end user in mind. It demands movement through all different kinds of people. It continuously expands to reach new corners of the world. But all of this would mean nothing if the company wasn't rooted in one thing: values. Caitlin Crosby addresses this in her TED Talk.
Keep your eyes open to all the needs you see around you. But don't do it because you're trying to come up with an innovative new organization, or I want to become a social entrepreneur, so I'm going to become passionate about this, or I want to start a nonprofit, or coming up with this thing. No, I think it needs to be based on just you actually care about humans. And it has to be real and genuine love.
And she's right. The reason people want to be a part of the Giving Keys is because they carry out their mission not only through the product that they sell, but in the company's culture as a whole. The Giving Keys is a glowing example of everything that Social Profit has to offer, and it does it in its own unique way. There are so many ways to find your purpose as a company and make profit. You just have to find your niche.